Alright everybody, welcome back to another one. Today is another day here on the BeamNG circuit to keep an eye on because it's officially time to kick off the fourth of 5 tours this year. So far we have seen 3 tours kick off. We saw the Destruction Series, of course, our Stadium Tour, the Arena All Out Series, our first ever Arena Tour, and the Senate Series making its return. We saw all those tours kick off last week, and gotta say, or no, sorry, not last week. We saw a couple of them last week. We saw one of them this week. So, crazy season so far. We're just getting started. It might seem like a lot of events, because I'm pretty sure in the whole 2025 season, there were only like 9 events. This year, it's week 2, and this is already our 4th event. We are going all out this season. I hope you guys are excited, because I know I am. And guess what? The Speedway Series is making its return, this time in true form. For those of you who are there for the 2025 season, you'll know the Speedway Series, each event was only freestyle. This year that's changing. The Speedway Series is getting full events. It's going to get a full timed racing competition. It's going to get a full 2-wheel skills competition. And it's going to get a full freestyle competition with 2 minutes on the clock. So, don't be fooled. The Speedway Series is back and bigger than ever this year. Tonight it kicks off here in Stafford Springs, Connecticut at the ever-famous Stafford Motor Speedway. And the lineup is absolutely stacked, so let's take a look at that. We're going to be seeing world champion Adam Anderson and Gravedigger. So previously we saw him on the Destruction Series. This year, Tyler and Weston would take his place. He's going to get demoted here to the Speedway Series. But don't get it wrong, the Speedway Series venues are just as big as the Destruction Series venues. So Adam will still have plenty of room to throw it down and for more intimate crowds. From there, we're going to be seeing Cory Rummell making his Monster Jam return, and he's going to be piloting the Blue Thunder, also making its return. There was some big demand at the end of the 2025 season for Blue Thunder to return. I figured, you know what, we had to bring back Blue Thunder for the BeamNG circuit. There were like 3 people saying, hey, where's Blue Thunder? We need Blue Thunder back. I was like, okay, we're going to add Blue Thunder back, so Cory Rummell will be piloting Blue Thunder. Unfortunately, it's not Bryce Kenny like people wanted, but he is showing off that all-new Tech Deck Rec Deck. Then we're going to be seeing Cynthia Gauthier Lucas Stabilizer making her return to this series. Kayla Blood and Sparkle Smash also making her return to this series. MJ Solorio and El Toro Loco celebrating the 25th anniversary of El Toro Loco. That is a big one. MJ has not really gotten to do any venues this big outside of the international circuit, so he's going to get some huge opportunities here on the Speedway Series to show what he is truly capable of, and he's going to be piloting that yellow El Toro Loco machine. We're going to be seeing Coty, Saucier, and Dragon, the driver who certainly knows how to pilot that machine. Moving on to the independents, we're going to be seeing Joe, Foley, and Axe. Joe was on the Destruction Series for both the 2024... He might, I don't know, he wasn't the 2024 Destruction Series. He was in the 2025 Destruction Series. Unfortunately, his performance in the postseason was not quite good enough to make it back on the Destruction Series this year, sorry. So he is going to be on the Speedway Series. However, like said, the Speedway Series is just as exciting as the Destruction Series. So don't think Joe Foley got demoted. He's actually in a much more comfortable position now, as he does plenty of these Speedways independently. We're going to be seeing Kevin Crocker in the Megalodon, of course. Then we're going to see the Send It team with Jon Zimmer Sr. piloting the Uproar and Chuckie Pauken III making his Monster Jam season debut in the Classroom Crusher. Finally, we're going to be seeing Matt and Nick Pagliarulo in their respective trucks as they look to become Series Champions tonight. Now, although you can't become a Series Champion tonight, you can get that first overall of the season. Whoever walks away with the overall tonight is going to be your season points leader. So, although this is just the first event, don't think it's not a big deal because it's really setting the bar for how the rest of this year may go for these drivers. Keep in mind, it might seem like there's not that long of a season because seasons used to only be like 3 months long in Monster Jam. No, we have 6 months of competition coming leading up until July. Don't think that there's going to be like 3 events on this series. There are a ton of events coming here to the Speedway Series. So there is plenty of action to go, and this event's just setting the tone. So, all that being said, I'm not going to waste your guys' time anymore. We're just going to get started here with timed racing Coming up first, the rookie, Chuckie Pauken, Classroom Crusher. Now, like we did in the Tacoma Dome, we're going to send him out there to do a demonstrational pass of how the racing course is going to work tonight, because here on the BeamNG circuit, we don't like to just do traditional racing passes because it's timed racing. No one really wants to see timed racing on just a boring old normal racing pass. What we're going to do here is send out Chuckie Pauken to do a demonstrational pass, and then he will do his real pass. So this is just going to be showing you fans how this track layout works. Drivers are going to start here on either end of the track at a racing lane. They're going to come through this first berm here, Then they're going to hit this other racing lane. However, rather than tackling the second berm, they're going to take it wide around here. This is going to be the last turn of the pass. They're going to accelerate to the racing lane where they started, and that is where that pass is going to come to an end. So, this is a very, very big course, and it might be challenging for rookies like Chuckie Pauken, who is, although he has done tracks similar to this size independently, it's a much bigger competition here in Monster Jam. And as well as that, I mean, it's a much more tricky and technical track than he might be used to. So, a lot of things to consider here. He's getting staged and ready, and we're going to get our timing system ready to go. So, we're going to temporarily shut him off. We're doing a little RII test to make sure that those truck shutoffs are working as they need to, because that is a necessary part of fan safety. All that being said, we're going to get things started here in timed racing. Coming up first, the rookie, Chuckie Pauken III, Classroom Crusher. I do apologize. I know Chuckie's truck is really quiet here on the stream. Unfortunately, there's not much I can do about that. I can turn it up a little bit. But the chassis that Chuckie Pauken and... apologize, I'm blanking here. The chassis that Chuckie Pauken and MJ Solorio are running tonight is newer and a lot quieter, so you might not be able to hear it as well. But Chuckie Pauken's ready to go. His only official timed racing pass of the night. Chuckie Pauken's first competition in BeamNG Monster Jam history. Let's see what he can do. Very nice through the berm. Keep in mind, right here, he's going to have to take it really wide in that Classroom Crusher machine. He's going to nail that drift. This is looking like a very, very good racing pass. And although we don't have a set bar yet, I know for sure, without seeing any other times, that that was a very clean pass from Chuckie Pauken III. The time, kicking off timed racing here, is going to be a 17.64. Although that is setting the bar, and we can't really say too much about if that's a good or bad time yet, I will say, before starting this event, there were a lot of test runs done to make sure that that track course was the best approach to take here. And based on those tests, it definitely was looking like the best approach to take with this track is that way. And the times that we saw in testing were roughly 18. So Chuckie Pauken is less than 18. So he could be competitive here. We're just going to have to wait and see how that time holds up against other competitors. We're going to throw it to another independent driver now. Actually, these first three competitors are all going to be independent drivers. So something a little different. Typically we switch out a little bit more. But based on the level of competition tonight, these drivers are just not quite as competitive as those who are going to be coming up after them. As we are preparing for a competitor to hit the track, looks like he's having a little bit of trouble here. Getting out of the pits. Alright, 1 second here, fans. Again, trying to prepare for that next competitor, having some trouble making his way onto the track. Alright, fans, it looks like coming up next, it's going to be none other than Matt Pagliarulo, Jester. Having some truck issues in the back. Fortunately, that truck is going to be able to fire and hit the floor. We wouldn't want a competitor season to start like that. And Matt Pagliarulo and the Jesters ready to get started for his 2026 season. Now, Matt might not always be a racer, but don't be fooled. When it comes down to it, he certainly can put down some good racing times here. So let's see what he can do driving the Jester. Looks like he's going to opt for the opposite lane as we just saw previously. So taking a bit of a different approach here. Let's see what he can do. Matt Pagliarulo and the Jester getting started out here. Got to be careful in those berms or you might go over. Oh man, an interesting save. The truck actually got airborne. He is going to have to back up though to make sure he hits that racing lane. So that's going to really be hurting his time. It doesn't look like it's going to be a DNF, but you definitely don't want to have any of that stuff going on here in timed racing. The time for Matt Pagliarulo and Jester is going to be a 25.90. Most certainly not going to be enough for the top spot. And unfortunately for Matt Pagliarulo, it's not going to set the tone for his season in too high of a spot. And, you know, it's always a bummer when you're coming out here looking to have your best year yet, and it starts off not so great. It just puts you in a bit of a bad mood. But, you know what? I'm sure Matt's going to bounce back. I'd say racing has always just about been his weakest competition. So, if that's him at his worst, I'd like to see what he can do at his best later tonight. Coming up next, out of the Team Scream camp, Kevin Crocker, Megalodon. That chassis is looking a little bit stiff out here. I'm not too sure what that's about. Yeah, that was full pressure to the brake, so something's definitely up here with that Megalodon truck. I'm not too sure what. But it's definitely something that Kevin Crocker's going to need to hope he can figure out, because one wrong move and this could end very, very badly for him. He's staged. He's ready to go. And Team Scream's first pass of the series is underway with Kevin Crocker, Megalodon. Kevin Crocker is off to a nice start. He's going to go really wide through this turn. It might work out for him, though. Oh, man, so close to enough for that top spot for the Megalodon. But Kevin Crocker is going to be going home with a 17.90. That's going to put him in second place currently. Your leader remains Chuckie Pauken in the Classroom Crusher. Sorry, I'm not sure what happened right there. Yeah, Chuckie Pauken, man, he might be a rookie, but you can never count out rookies like that because they'll always have something up their sleeve that you just didn't know they could do yet. And Chuckie Pauken proven that tonight as he puts down the fastest time in racing. Although only 2 drivers have followed him up, it's very impressive in your first event to be even just out of last place itself. So, nice work by Chuckie Pauken, the third so far. Coming up next, Kayla Blood, Sparkle Smash. Well, we've been saying a lot about drivers not being racers, and if I'm being honest here, this driver is definitely towards the top of that list. Kayla Blood, really known for her freestyles. We'll see what she can do here in the Sparkle Smash. Getting started here in racing. Let's see what she can do here. Coming through the berm with a lot of speed. Gonna have to slow down big time to make sure she doesn't roll over there. Coming into this final turn here, that truck's getting really hiked up, and she is all over the place here in racing. It's not going to be as bad as Matt Pagliarulo's time, but it's going to be a good 4 seconds out from the top spot. Kayla Blood puts down a 21.85. That's going to be enough for third place currently here in timed racing. Man, so we've seen some very interesting things so far. Some drivers I'd really expect to see towards the top, I'm just not really seeing that for. And some drivers I'd really expect to see towards the bottom, I'm also not seeing that. You know, I was expecting Chuckie Pauken the third to have a rough event here with it being his first one, but he continues to dominate the racing leaderboard. Coming up next, not a rookie, but a rising star, MJ Solorio, El Toro Loco. Coming into this season, I wasn't sure exactly where I was going to want to place MJ. You know, he'd done some bigger events before, but not many. But man, after I saw his performance in the International Series this past year, I knew he had to get some bigger venues under his belt. And so I threw him here onto the Speedway Series, where I knew he'd get some bigger floor spaces. That would suit his driving style, I think, a little bit better than an arena circuit. Let's see what MJ could do. His first competition of the season. MJ Solorio El Toro Loco is underway. Keep in mind, he is also driving that new chassis that Chuckie Pauken III has been driving. That chassis has been giving a ton of drivers issues, but Chuckie Pauken, like Camden Murphy in the Classroom Crusher as well, got it to work out for him. MJ finds himself in a little bit of trouble. That's going to hurt him. Fortunately, it's going to actually end up being pretty far out from the worst time of the night. We have seen times much worse than MJ's so far. His time is going to be an 18.76. Currently, that's enough for, third place. We might see that fall just as more and more competitors come out here. But for what it's worth, third place in one of his first bigger floors like this, and also with that new chassis that has proven to be very difficult, that's not too bad there for MJ. So, great for him. Now, coming up next, I forgot about this. This competitor is also driving that new chassis style. So we actually have 3 drivers on this tour driving this new chassis style that has really been hurting other competitors. Up next, it's Nick Pagliarulo and Kraken. So we've seen this chassis giving trouble to drivers on all the other series, but here on the Speedway Series, the drivers running this chassis have actually been having much better luck. So we're going to have to wait and see if Nick Pagliarulo reflects that in the Kraken. I'll say racing is definitely his weakest competition, but I mean, if this chassis is so good on this track, then maybe Nick won't be doing too bad here. He immediately does oversteer, but he recovers very quickly. Big potential here in this last turn for Nick. He almost aces it, oversteers a tiny bit. Huge acceleration, and the time is an 18.54. Let's see where that puts him. That's going to put him in third place. He's going to knock out MJ Solorio for that third place position. Nick Pagliarulo not quite getting it done, but getting a nice time on the board nonetheless. Well, Nick is still a little bit on the younger side of his career, I'd say. Now we're going to throw it over to a driver who has almost 3 decades of experience. I mean, I'm not sure if I would say almost, but at this point he's coming up on it. He has been doing this for such a long time. Yeah, 3 decades is definitely a stretch, but still, this guy is a veteran. 20 years of experience in the sport, and now he has had the opportunity to start his own team and have his own identity. Please welcome Jon Zimmer Sr. Uproar. Jon Zimmer, of course, teammates with Chuckie Pauken III, who we saw earlier tonight and who currently holds the lead in this competition. So big things here happening for Send It Motorsports. And right now they have the opportunity to go from first place to first place again. Let's see if Jon Zimmer Sr. can get it done. Either way, coming out of this pass, Send It Series is going to, the Send It Motorsports is going to remain on top. So that's got to feel good as the boss, Jon Zimmer Sr. And speaking of Jon Zimmer Sr., he's getting started here in timed racing. And he is very clean through that first berm. Maybe lost a little bit more speed than he'd have liked to. But regardless, I'm going to say this is a very nice pass by the Uproar. Oh man, loses it a little bit right there. Big acceleration at the finish line. And the time for the Uproar is an 18.22. That's currently going to be enough for third place. So Jon Zimmer Sr. also going to take the third place position. At this point, this competition is just looking like a competition for third place. Everyone's fighting over third place. No one has really been able to touch Kevin Crocker or Chuckie Pauken III yet. Still so crazy to me because those are the 2 drivers who, although not bad at driving, I certainly don't think have as much experience as some others on this tour. But they are just staying in those higher positions. And I mean, good for them. Clearly they know what they're doing because they are sitting pretty there high up in the points. Coming up next, a truck you fans have all wanted to see return for 4 years now, and a driver you've wanted to see return to the big floors for 2 years. Please welcome to the track one of the fan favorites, Cory Rummell, Blue Thunder. Man, Cory's still so nice to see him back competing here in Monster Jam outside of the arenas. Not sure what he did right there. Also super nice now to see him piloting a truck that all the fans have wanted to see make a return. He was originally scheduled to drive a different truck this season, which was why he was listed as TBA. That truck is not quite ready to go yet here on the BeamNG circuit, so in the meantime, he's going to be piloting this beautiful Blue Thunder machine. Cory Rummell gets started on, I gotta say, in his time with Team Scream, Cory was always a very fast racer. We haven't really seen him race here on a felt chassis too much, so not sure if he's going to be super fast yet. I will say that looks super fast to me. Huge acceleration across the finish line. And he does it, Cory Rummell. The time for the Blue Thunder, a 17.44. We have a new leader here in racing, Cory Rummell, Blue Thunder. Man, although it was sick while it, sick while it lasted for Chuckie Pauken III, I knew a rookie wasn't going to be able to take home the win here. It just was bound to get taken away eventually. And of all people to do it, I gotta be honest, I'm glad Cory was the one, because I am super pumped still to see him back behind the wheel, especially when he's behind the wheel of an incredible truck like Blue Thunder, which has so much history behind it. Well, fans, we're here at the tail end of time racing. We only have 4 drivers remaining, and coming up next, she has had some racing wins lately, including behind the wheel of the Toro Monster Jam truck. It's Cynthia Gauthier, Lucas Stabilizer. Man, I gotta say, Cynthia is definitely the fastest female driver at the stadium level. Although I obviously wouldn't quite consider the Speedway Series stadiums, it's about the same level of competition with that 12-driver lineup, and the tracks are about the same size as well. So Cynthia Gauthier here and the Lucas Stabilizer getting a big opportunity to prove what she can do. And she's going to get started here in the Lucas Stabilizer. Let's see what she can do here. Perfect in that first thing. It's a little bit debatable how she went over that racing lane. I don't think it's going to be a penalty, but it was very, very close to one. Huge acceleration. And after talking about Cynthia Gauthier getting those racing wins lately, she is going to prove that that was not a spurt of luck and that that was all skill, because she is your new leader here in time racing, putting down a time of a 17.18. So very nice work there by Cynthia. Man, I mean, you know, she did get her first stadium racing win just a year ago, so definitely not surprised to see her continuing with that success. And it is very, very nice to see that going down there for Cynthia, as she has definitely still been growing throughout the course of her career. She's one of those drivers who I don't think has ever really gotten worse. She's only gotten better as time has gone on, and I love to see that. The question is, how long will she be able to continue growing for? Because right now, things are looking great. 1 second here, fans. Running into some trouble with this next competitor. Don't worry, he is going to be able to hit the track. Just have to figure something out. Alright. Looks like we are good to go on this next driver. Sorry, thing got shifted around right there. This driver has a great history lately with the Monster Jam fans. Easily the fan favorite here in the sport. And piloting that amazing fire truck machine, it's Joe Foley and the Axe. So Joe has really proven himself to be a fan favorite, but like said for quite a few drivers tonight, I definitely say this is Joe's weakest competition. He has made it pretty far into racing before. I'm not sure if he's made it to a racing finals. At the very least, he has been to the semifinals, so he can be fast when his time comes. Alright, nice start here for Joe Foley. He's going to opt for that same lane as Cory and Cynthia. I think that's a wise decision, as it got both of them the lead at their times. Now Joe has the opportunity to get a lead here in racing as well, something he does not do too often, and things like that are why. Nice recovery by Joe Foley, but Unfortunately, not going to be able to salvage that pass after that big mistake. The time, a 20.25. I'm not sure where that places him exactly right now. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. 8th place, I think, for Joe Foley. So, man, that's worse than I thought it was going to be. Joe Foley taking over 8th place. That's definitely going to be hurting him in points. I could be wrong, but from what I could tell, looking at the standings so far, that looks like 8th place to me. So, wow, Joe Foley's got some work to do. We all know freestyle is where he shines best, though, so I wouldn't be surprised to see an even more elevated freestyle run from Freestyle Foley himself later tonight on this huge floor space. Fans, only 2 competitors remain, but coming up next, one of the most consistent racers in all of Monster Jam, it's Coty Saucier and the Dragon. Man, Coty is such a consistent racer. He still hasn't had the opportunity to walk away with a World Racing Championship yet. However, back in 2019, at the Fire and Ice All-Star Challenge, he was able to get a racing win there. And with that being a full 24 truck lineup, I would say that could count as basically a World Racing win, because that was an all-star field if I've ever seen one. Coty Saucier and the Dragon getting started here. This is that second to last racing pass. Oh man, all that talk about Coty being so consistent in this competition, and it is not going to prove true tonight. Nice save, nice recovery, but unfortunately, I mean, this is kind of too far gone. He's going to try really hard to salvage this pass, but the time, a 23.63, if I'm correct. I believe that should, yeah, that's going to place him in 10th place. So, Coty Saucier, rough luck right there, but you got to be on your A game at all times here on the BeamNG circuit, because these tours are full of all-out drivers. Coty couldn't do that. I also noticed, strangely, that Coty did not go for that same lane that we saw all the successful passes come out of. Something I find interesting, because I'd imagine you'd want to do what's been proven to be successful, but Coty did not do that. And he's going to be the first rollover of the series. So, I don't know, just some trivia there for Coty Saucier and the Dragon, as he's off to a pretty rough start to the season. He's not going to quite take over last place. Pretty impressive, honestly, considering he did a full barrel roll in that pass. But that last place position still belongs to Matt Pagliarulo, which, I mean, I did say coming into this, I didn't think was going to be quite his star competition. Alright, sorry, took a second here to get this last competitor to the track, but I had to make sure everything was working right on this truck, because this guy is coming here to win, if anything. Please welcome the black and green wrecking machine, Adam Anderson. Listen to that engine, man. That truck just is on fire. That was really full speed ahead there from Adam. One of the best to ever do it. He's not a 4-time world champion for nothing. Now he's staged, ready to go, in his first competition of the Monster Jam season. Adam having the opportunity to walk home with a win right now, but it's going to take a good racing pass. He's off to a great start, though. He's looking very fast. Ooh, that's going to mess him up. Can he make that mistake up? It's all going to come down to his speed here in the straightaway. Oh man, he's getting into freestyle mode right now. All that action from Adam, but it's not going to be enough. His time, a 17.55. Very close to that top spot. That's going to put him in 3rd place, but that means your racing winner with the first win of the season, Cynthia Gauthier and the Lucas Stabilizer. Great news there for Cynthia, man. There's no better way to start off your season than to take home a win. And Cynthia did go winless last BeamNG season, so that's got to be a good feeling to come out here, first event of the year, already walking home with a win. All that being said here, the points are being all counted up. Whoops, one small error being made here while counting up these points. Lots of things to keep track of, so it's bound to happen. Alright. Alright, I got everything figured out here. Now, the order for the two-wheel skills competition is going to be based off of how the drivers placed in timed racing. So, the higher they place, the later they'll be coming out. The lower they place, the earlier they'll be coming out. So, that means the driver who got last place in racing, which was Matt Pagliarulo, will be kicking off your next competition. And the driver who won, Cynthia Gauthier, will be closing two-wheel skills, which is certainly going to be very interesting to see. Alright, well, I'm not going to waste your guys' time talking anymore because we still have a ton of action to get to, and it's time to shift over to the two-wheel skills competition. We are going to be using the traditional skills format out here, which means 2 hits, do your best move on 2 wheels. None of that 1-hit stuff here on this series. We're only using that on the Destruction series because of that huge 16-truck lineup and the need to bring those shows maybe a little bit shorter in length. Coming up first here in two-wheel skills, all that being said, is Matt Pagliarulo, Jester. Matt has really been trying to grow in this competition lately. As you saw on the Team Tomfoolery YouTube channel, Matt was working on his nose wheelies for a week straight behind the wheel of the Jester, trying to become the best version of himself possible in this competition. Now we're here to find out if that paid off. He's getting his first hit started here in the Jester. Oh man, he's going to go huge right there. And that is the first hit down for Jester. Now fans, if you are new here to these streams, those of you in attendance are able to participate in fan scoring. You just have to enter your scores for each run in the chat, and they will be officially counted, combined with an expert score, and that will be the official score. So yes, fans, do get your scores entered for each of these competitors as they go out here. Your input is much appreciated and makes these tours more fair. Matt goes in for the second hit. Huge sky wheelie into a great slap wheelie combination maneuver from the Jester. He's going to throw it into one more as that truck sets it down. Let's hear it for Matt Pagliarulo and the Jester. Matt coming out here first, setting the bar in two-wheel skills. When you're the first driver out there on the track, there's always some added pressure because, I mean, you don't know what the fans like yet. Sometimes different places around the world, they like to see different types of moves. So Matt kind of gave a full array there. He gave, you know, a nose wheelie moonwalk combination, but he also gave a slap wheelie for maybe some of those old school fans who might be here in Stafford, Connecticut. So lots of things to keep in mind there as we saw that run unfold. I will leave the window open for fan scoring since it is the start of the night. Never know what fans will be participating out here for that first run from Matt Pagliarulo, Jester. I will say that scoring window by now is going to be closed. So, there is no score to beat. That is the first score of the night coming up. Alright, I'm going to put that in chat just so that anyone passing through here can see. That score kicking off two-wheel skills for Matt Pagliarulo is... It's going to be a 7.359. Again, a 7.359, getting that first run of the night started for Matt Pagliarulo, Jester. Coming up next, he was looking to get one of the best times here in racing, but unfortunately would place all the way at the bottom. It's Coty Saucier, Dragon. Man, I gotta say it. this really is not Coty's competition. He can do a lot of things in a Monster Jam truck, but he just can't seem to figure out what the fans want to see in this competition. He always opts for, you know, maybe those more old school moves like wheelies and bicycles, but it seems like most of the time that he does those, the fans were looking for something more like, you know, a moonwalk. We'll see how things are looking here in Stafford Springs, though, as Coty Saucier looking to get started. Keep in mind, he will have 2 different hits on 2 wheels. Alright, let's see what he does here. Looks like he's not going to like whatever he was lining up for over there. Looking a little bit indecisive out here, Coty Saucier. Lots of options on this big pod, and there's 2 of it, so all sorts of things are possible out here on this track. Looks like he is going to opt for one of those old school maneuvers. He's going to walk that wheelie very carefully here in the Dragon. Oh, look at this. He's going to get a nice combination maneuver, something you always want to look out for in this competition. He's going to try and combo it up, maybe into another wheelie. Not going to quite get it, but a great start to the run for Coty Saucier and Dragon. 1 more hit to go. Keep in mind that score to beat Matt Pagliarulo is a 7.359. Coty Saucier going for hit number 2. Man, a move that I love to see that Coty is so good at doing is these bicycles on the side 2 tires, something that I don't think enough drivers still do in this current day. And that's going to do it for Coty Saucier, Dragon. I was a little worried he was going to turn on the fire there, and some fans would have had a pretty bad day. Fortunately, he's not going to do that. So fans, for those of you here, get those scores locked in if you are interested for Coty Saucier and Dragon putting down the 2nd run of the night here in 2-wheel skills. Keep in mind that score to beat belonging to Jester with a 7.359. Alright, not going to get any fan scores in for Coty. So that score to beat 7.359 for Jester. The score for Dragon is... it's an 8.033. Your new leader in 2-wheel skills, Coty Saucier, Dragon. Man, so already we're starting to see some shifts in the leaderboard, something I love to see. That just shows how competitive it can get out here on the Monster Jam circuit. Coming up next, it's Kayla Blood, Sparkle Smash. Now, Kayla, man, I said racing was her weakest competition. I'm going to actually change that. It is definitely this one, man. She just has never really been able to figure out her moves when it comes to this competition. She's going to opt for a move on the front 2 BKTs. It's going to get her on the ragged edge, and it's going to be a crazy save for Sparkle Smash. So a very cool second attempt, or sorry, first attempt there. The thing is, though, was it really a demonstration of skill, or was it just cool? Because, I mean, the only reason it ended up being cool was because her move was unsuccessful. Keep that in mind, fans. Coming in here for this second hit. She's also going to get crazy once again. And it's going to be 2 chaotic saves for Kayla Blood as she wraps up her attempts here in the 2-wheel skills competition with the Sparkle Smash. Alright, fans, get those scores in for Kayla Blood, giving it 2 crazy chaotic hits here in 2-wheel skills behind the wheel of the Sparkle Smash. Alright. Keep in mind that score to beat belonging to the Dragon with an 8.033. We got an opportunity for you fans to get your scores locked in. Alright, still no fan scoring happening here tonight. So we're going to have to do this the old-fashioned way. Score to beat belongs to Dragon with an 8.033. The score. for Kayla Blood. And the Sparkle Smash is... It's a 7.810, currently enough for second place. Man, so that's something to keep an eye out on here. Sorry, an eye on out here. Kayla Blood had two very cool moves. However, they were more or less just chaotic, not as technically in tune. And the expert judge said, you know what? I don't think that's as cool as a technically calculated run. Not going to give Kayla Blood the lead, despite having debatably the craziest wow moments so far. So that's something we're going to have to keep in mind here, is that this is really a matter of skillful, to the expert judge I should say, fan judging can do whatever. But to the experts, this is really going to be a matter of demonstration of talent more than how cool can you be on the track. So something to keep in mind here, as Joe Foley and Axe is getting started in two-wheel skills. Oh, he's going to be on the sidewall save. Oh, man. Well, now is where it's going to get interesting. This kind of goes back to what I was just saying about demonstration of skill versus just being chaotic. Well, I think that was kind of both for Joe Foley. Although the barrel roll that kind of happened there was more just randomly chaotic, knowing to pull out those sidewalls right there was definitely a skillful thing. So something I'm going to want to keep my eye on here, because Joe Foley is eyeing that second hit. He's going to opt for a bicycle. We see these occasionally for Joe Foley. He's going to get onto the front two wheels, now onto the rear two wheels. And Joe Foley sets it down. He combined every single skills move into that run. He was on the rear wheels, the side BKTs, and the front BKTs all in that same 1 second attempt. That was amazing work by Joe Foley and the Axe fans. Give it up. That score to beat still belonging to the Dragon with an 8.033, but I'm sure Coty Saucier has got to be nervous after seeing what Joe Foley and the Axe just put down, because that was one of the craziest things we have seen all event long. As we prepare for that next competitor who will be hitting the track next. Alright, no fan scores coming in there, which means the score for Joe Foley and Axe is going to go to the expert judge. And that score for Joe Foley is... It's an 8.907. Your new leader here in two-wheel skills, Joe Foley and the Axe. Man, we have already seen so much crazy action here in two-wheel skills, and we are still only 4 runs in. That's 1/3 of the field. There are still so many competitors still hitting the track. And up next, this is a big deal for MJ. He's getting to do some huge venues this year. Behind the wheel of the El Toro Loco, as he represents the 25th anniversary of Monster Jam's most iconic Crazy Bull. Alright, well, let's see what MJ can do. Keep in mind, 2 hits. This is a very technically in tune driver, so I have big expectations right now. He's going to go for that front end popper. We saw something like that from the Sparkle Smash. Now he's going to go up and over. Alright, a nice save by MJ. Again, though, it got a little bit rough in that attempt. I think the experts might not like that as much as the fans would, because it's showing that maybe he struggled to demonstrate skill. He's got one more move to go. Man, destroying that new yellow El Toro Loco body right off the bat. He did not waste any time to get that done. He's going to combo this. Very nice, something that MJ is very familiar with. Look at this. He's going to walk it back up onto the pod, onto one BKT, and he is back on those rear BKTs. This is incredible. He is sitting on those rear 2 tires, waving to you fans with those front 2 tires. This is something unlike anything we have seen so far tonight. A perfect combination. Now he is walking that wheelie backwards. He's taking it back up the pod. This is incredible. And he's back onto those front two BKTs. He goes in for the slap moonwalk. Oh, be careful, MJ. You don't want to go over. Oh, wow. What a move by the El Toro Loco. He's going to set it down with the save. That was unbelievable. That whole move, I think, lasted probably a good 50 seconds. He had moonwalk to wheelie, to moonwalk to wheelie, back to moonwalk to sidewall save. Actually, I forgot. He went moonwalk, then slapwalk, then sidewall save. Absolutely unbelievable work out of MJ Solorio. Easily the best skills run on any tour that we have seen all season long. Alright, fans. If any of you are here participating in fans scoring, get that score in. Alright. Score to beat, 8.907 for the Axe. The score for MJ Solorio, El Toro Loco is... It's a 9.410. We have a new leader, MJ Solorio, El Toro Loco. And that's not a big surprise to me at all. That is one of the best skills runs to ever even hit any of my BeamNG series. MJ truly demonstrating what talent looks like. He used the front, back, and side BKT tires all in one run. That is what true talent looks like. And that is exactly what we strive for here in two-wheel skills. That's what this competition was made for. Alright, it's time for competitor number 6. Throwing it back to Team Tomfoolery with Nick Pagliarulo cracking. So Nick is coming out here. He's had a interesting start to the event. He is in the bottom 6 right now, but not by a lot. So he has an opportunity to find his way back towards the top of the leaderboard, but it's going to take some very, very nice moves out here tonight in the Kraken. And I will say, Nick has always been pretty good in this competition. Back in 2020, he was already practicing his stoppies. So at this point, nose wheelies are not rare to see for this guy. And looks like we're going to be seeing one right now here in Stafford Springs. Oh, he started to lose it a little bit. Careful, Nick. Nice recovery right there. Man, this chassis that him and MJ and Chuckie have is a lot bouncier than that traditional CRD that we have seen most other competitors use. So something to look out for here is he's going to have to be extra careful to make sure that that truck is stable. Walking this all the way back to the pod. Looks like he tried to combo it and could not quite get the grab he was looking for. He's got one more move to go. So Nick, let's see what he can do here in the Kraken. Oh man, he's going to go for a bicycle. Can't get it. And that truck is just going to maybe roll over. Yeah, that's done. I don't know what just happened there for Nick. It was a very average attempt that did fail. And it looks like he really didn't want it to be a fail. Really tried to get some save out of it. But that truck very quickly ended up on the lid instead. It was a sick crash, I guess. But not anything that'll be good for him for points. Score to beat, MJ Solorio, 9.410. That score for Nick Pagliarulo. Kraken is... It's an 8.017. That's currently going to be good enough for 4th place here in the two-wheel skills competition. Tough break for Nick. It definitely looks like he wanted to do something a little crazier. And I will say that's a very high score for that definitely unsuccessful attempt. But I will say that first attempt that he had was one of the most calculated ones of the entire night. So, gotta give credit where it's due. You know, this is the skills competition, and the best way to demonstrate skill is having one of the smoothest moves all night long. Alright, well that's the first half of two-wheel skills down. Now we got halfway to go. Coming up next, the veteran Jon Zimmer Sr. and Uproar. Man, if there's anyone who has improved so rapidly in this competition lately, it's Jon Zimmer Sr. It's crazy to compare his skills runs today to a year ago. He can do full combinations and everything now. A year ago, I'm not sure we could even say he could do a good moonwalk. So Jon Zimmer Sr. very quickly has improved in this competition. He is showing off some of that great talent right now, as he is perfectly walking that nose wheelie all the way across the floor from the racing lane all the way to the end. This is what I love to see. Now he's going to moonwalk it as well, trying to find some good space here. Alright, getting a little bit caught on that racing lane. He's going to recover nicely though. And this is what I'm talking about, man. He is just perfectly keeping that truck stable. Oh, you have got to be kidding me. He might have taken a page out of Brandon Toluchka's book. He is parked on the nose of that truck, a move that Brandon calls the handstand. Well, now it looks like Jon Zimmer Sr. has taken his own crack at it in the Uproar, and he might have done it even better. I mean, Brandon couldn't pull it off in the Tacoma Dome, and he ended up getting a very, very low score in this competition because of it. Actually got last place in this competition in the Tacoma Dome because he attempted that move, couldn't pull it off. Jon Zimmer Sr. comes out here, does it perfectly. Mind you, this whole moonwalk we're seeing, still his first attempt. Perfectly balanced right there, only on the wheels. That truck is not even touching right now. This is amazing work from Jon Zimmer Sr. in the Uproar. Debatably even more impressive than what we saw from MJ, because this is just pure balance, and he finally sets it down, man. That was probably a good minute and a half from Jon Zimmer Sr. There are very few drivers who can keep a truck steady for that long, but like I was saying coming into this competition, Jon Zimmer Sr. has improved drastically when it comes to two-wheel maneuvers, and he just proved me correct right there with that run. I say with that run, that was just one attempt. His run's still not over yet. Alright, attempt number 2. Let's see what he can do here. Starting to lose it. Alright, nice recovery from Jon Zimmer Sr. in the Uproar. Let's see what he can do here, throwing it into reverse. There we go. This is what I was talking about, man. Jon Zimmer Sr. is so perfect on those combination maneuvers now. And look at this. I mean, this is exactly what I've been talking about. He is just, nothing is stopping him right now. He is just perfectly on those front two tires after just comboing it. I mean, this is something that very few drivers are so good at doing. He has gotten so impressively good with these moves. It's crazy. Him and his son both are two of the best in the entire industry on two wheels. Look at this. He just walked a wheelie backwards across that entire pod, and he is finally going to bring this run to an end. Super impressive work from Jon Zimmer Sr. and the Uproar, having arguably the most precise skills runs of the entire year so far on the BeamNG circuit. Like I was just saying, there are very few drivers in the entire industry who are able to stay that calculated for that long, let alone for 2 hits in a row. Jon Zimmer Sr. truly defying his own driving talent. I mean, that is incredible stuff. Score to beat belongs to MJ Solorio, who put down a score of a 9.410. That score for Uproar is It's a 9.523, which means your new leader in two-wheel skills, Jon Zimmer Sr., Uproar. And man, that's something to keep in mind. MJ had 2 crazy wow moments in his run, but Jon Zimmer Sr. didn't necessarily have any wow moments. He just showed great precision, and that's what had the most success. So I think that's going to prove here that what the expert judge is looking for is really skillful, I guess, display more than anything. Because we saw wow moments from Kayla and from MJ, and they were both absolutely crushed by much more calculated attempts. Alright, fans, we're going to move on to that next competitor now. Coming at you from Detroit, Michigan. Well, not the driver, but yes, the team. Because this is Team Scream. Kevin Crocker, Megalodon. So this is not really Kevin's competition. I'm very interested to see what he'll go for here. Especially sitting 5th place in points right now. You can't really afford to just go out there and have a bad run. So not sure what we're going to see from Kevin Crocker and the Megalodon right now, because this really isn't his competition. I'm not really sure if there's anything he's going to be able to do the WoW, an expert or fan judge, because you fans can score. But we're just going to have to wait and see here as Kevin Crocker is getting staged and ready to go. Alright, first hit. Let's see what he can do. Oh, man! It is a huge sky wheelie. He just shed the entire body of that shark. All that is left is the hood. Talk about a wow factor by Kevin Crocker. Oh, man. Sounds like some transmission struggles there for the Megalodon. Not too sure what's going on. Kevin's going to have to figure that out going into these next competitions, because every point is going to be counting here. Look at that. He's driving around like a shark just because he can. Man, Kevin might not always be competitive, but he will always be entertaining with a crazy move like that. Look, that tail is sticking up. That's not supposed to do that. On the bicycle, something we don't see from Kevin too often. He's going to pull out a crazy save. Man, this is what I love about Kevin Crocker, man. He's not going out there to win. He just goes out there and gets the fans on their feet. That is what makes a truly entertaining driver. I mean, score to beat 9.523. I'm not sure if that's going to be enough to take the lead, but if it was enough to wow you fans, then I'm sure that's all Kevin Crocker wanted to do. Get your scores locked in. Remember, fan scoring is open. Alright, 1 second here, fans, as we await to get that score. Just doing a quick promotional thing. To try and draw some more fan judges in, because fan judging is an integral part of these shows, you know. It's not just a thing for the fans, but it's something to balance out those scores for all the competitors. So, if you are watching this, do start entering some scores for these competitors, because that's a part of what makes these competitions fair. Alright. No fan scores coming in for Kevin Crocker. So that score to beat belonging to Jon Zimmer Sr. with a 9.523. The score for Kevin Crocker, Megalodon, is... It's an 8.154. Not enough for that top spot. I will say, although it's not enough for the top spot, it is going to put Kevin Crocker among the top 4 drivers right now, so he's definitely going to be securing some more decent points coming out of this competition. So we love to see that for Kevin Crocker. Coming up next, Chuckie Pauken, Classroom Crusher. We are officially down to your last 4 competitors here in this competition. So this is where you're really going to have to start keeping a lookout, because these are the drivers who are in the runnings for the overall event championship right now. They're going to be the ones who are going to be driving, ideally for them, the hardest to try and become an overall event winner tonight. So Chuckie Pauken, the Classroom Crusher, coming up here right now. Oh man, he's going to try to salvage this attempt. Whoa, huge slap wheelie and a save. Not going to get what he was going for though, so that's definitely going to be hurting his score here. He went for the reverse popper, did not get a reverse popper. So keep in mind, fans, whether or not it's a successful attempt is a big part of what the driver should be receiving for their score. He was not successful in doing what he wanted to do, even if he did do something cool afterwards. One more hit to go for the Classroom Crusher. Looks like he's going to opt for those front tires this time. I think this is something he should be pretty comfortable with. I mean, he has been doing all sorts of this all throughout his... Oh, man, I'm not sure what happened there. Looks like he's running into some transmission issues. Can't find reverse right now. Gonna have to go to the back and fix that up. Fans, give it up for Chuckie Pauken III, Classroom Crusher, and get your scores locked in for that performance by the man behind the wheel of the bus. So Chuckie Pauken, obviously a big deal. This is his first Monster Jam series. He wants to perform at a high level and doesn't want to let anybody, including himself, down. It is just so tough to keep up with how competitive everyone is now, including his own teammate and boss, Jon Zimmer Sr., who currently leads this competition with a 9.523. Again, your score to beat 9.523. No fan score, so that score for the Classroom Crusher is... It's a 7.935. Not enough for the top spot. Alright, fans, time is ticking. Only 3 drivers left to go. Coming up next, the Black and Green Wrecking Machine with Adam Anderson. If there's anyone who has really had rapid growth in this competition, you know, I'd really say those veteran drivers are improving. I was just saying it for Jon Zimmer Sr. getting much better. Well, Adam Anderson as well. He has been getting really good when it comes to doing moves on 2 wheels. Sure, he's not quite a Tyler Menninga, but he still is a great competitor now who can put some serious points on the board. We're seeing that right now as he is going for that move on those front 2 BKT tires, something Adam has been getting much better at. Look at this. Impeccable balance. He's going to move the rear steer as well. That requires him, by the way, to take his hand off the shifter so that he can do that. So that shows how confident he is in that balancing point that that truck was able to find. He's going to throw this into reverse. No way. Look at this. This is what I mean, man. Adam Anderson is getting so good in this competition. Tail dragger wheelie all the way across the pod. Tries to keep it going. That was some true veteran control from Adam Anderson and the Gravedigger. He's got one more hit to go. On those side 2 BKTs, let's see what he can do here. Oh, man. Whoa! What on earth was that? That truck just completely balanced in place there for a good 5 seconds. And that's going to do it for Adam Anderson. Man, it is so fun to see Adam improve in the skills competition every week. He always has something new up his sleeve. And apparently today it was balancing a truck on the side two tires for 5 seconds without moving. That was very cool, and it definitely showed good truck control. He knew not to overdrive and cause it to go over, but he also knew when he needed to drive to keep it from going over. So great work there from Adam Anderson. Keep in mind, you can put in some fan scores if you wish. Score to beat does still belong to Jon Zimmer Sr. and the Uproar, who had a 9.523. Again, that is a 9.523 as your score to beat. All right, that score for the Gravedigger is in. The score for Adam Anderson is at 8.508. That is currently going to be enough for 4th place tonight here in two-wheel skills. A great score for Adam. Maybe a little bit low, but regardless, we have seen so many great things. It's not too surprising to see maybe some drivers fall under the rug a little bit. On that note, only 2 left to go. And coming up next, making his big Monster Jam return, Cory Rummell, Blue Thunder. Cory Rummell taking some huge speed out there on the track. This is a big year for Cory, getting to return to his huge career in monster trucks now at a higher level than ever. He is definitely going to be one to watch. Let's see what he can do here as he prepares for the first hit of the run. He's on those front 2 BKTs. Take a look at the balancing act. Very, very nicely done by Cory Rummell and the Blue Thunder. Walking this all the way back here. Look at this. Up the obstacle. Loses the hood. Who needed that anyway? He's going to combo it with the nose pick. And look at that. Walks the wheelie all the way to the end of the audience. That was amazing. We don't see Cory do stuff like that too often. Look at his view in cab, by the way. He is being fully guided by the floor and that little spot in the right of the windshield. Cory Rummell can see very little right now. And I think a lot of this next attempt is going to have to be intuition and kind of feeling out that truck more than using visuals, because his view is very much blocked right now. Onto those front 2 wheels. There we go. Freeing up his sight. Cory Rummell perfectly balancing on those front 2 tires. That's what we love to see. Cory is just such a master at these moves. He is just showing off right now. He'll walk these up the ramps, down the ramps. Look at this. Balancing just on those tires alone. Who needs a handstand using the actual chassis when you could just balance on the tires without moving? He is showing up Jon Zimmer Sr. right now. Cory Rummell's going to take it onto the pod. Oh no, and yeah, that's going to do it for Cory Rummell. Blue Thunder runs out of room to play, and that truck goes over. Well, a tough break there for Cory. He had a great run going. You never want to end out a run like that by rolling over, but unfortunately, that is what we're going to see right there. And because he did hit those barriers at a very hard speed, that's going to cost him 5 points on the series. So, something that you hate to see, but sometimes that's just how it sometimes that's just how it's going to go here. So, barriers will never be shutoffs here on the series, but they will cost points just because it is showing a lack of drivability, and we want to promote, you know, maybe being a little bit smarter with your driving. So score to beat belongs to Jon Zimmer Sr. and the Uproar with a 9.523. No fan scores coming in here, so that score for Cory Rummell and the Blue Thunder is... it's an 8.023. Not enough for that top spot tonight. Tough break for Cory, man. He had such great things going. He easily could have ended up, you know, top 3 if he was able to set that second move down. He just got a little bit carried away walking it that far back and with so much speed, and it's going to cost him. But now, coming up last, she is your time racing winner. She is currently leading the points standings, and if she can do well in this competition, she can leave still leading the point standings. So Cynthia Gauthier and the Lucas Stabilizer definitely under some pressure right now, because she is in a position where there is a lot at stakes regarding the points chase. Let's see what she can do here if she's preparing for that first hit of the run. Cynthia, definitely not her star competition. This has always been her weakest competition, but she can prove me wrong right now. Even if she places on the podium, she's going to be able to defend her position in the point standings. So it doesn't need to be first place. She just needs to place high up right now, and she could get some big things. The problem is we have seen so many good runs and skills tonight that that's going to be so hard to do for her. But look at that. Great balance by the Lucas Stabilizer, something that she has definitely been improving on over the past few years. And look at this. I mean, she is just keeping that truck balanced on those front 2 BKTs, not letting anything stop her right now. Not something that she has always been super good at, but look at this. A great first hit from Cynthia Gauthier, Lucas Stabilizer. That's definitely putting her in a pretty good position right now. It's going to take a lot here on this second hit, though, to be able to put her super high up in points, just because of how crazy these other runs have been. It's going to be a bicycle for the Lucas Stabilizer. Oh, it's going to need a huge shave right here, and that is what she is going to do. Gets it back using those front 2 BKTs as she sets it down. Super nice work by Cynthia. That is exactly what she needed to pull out here if she wanted to become a series leader right now, because the door is wide open for her. Alright, well, keep in mind that score to beat belongs to Zombie, a 9.523. The score for Cynthia Gauthier, Lucas Stabilizer is... it's a 9.028. Not enough for that top spot. Alright, fans. Now, briefly here, as I commentate for this next competition, I'm just going to go over how the point standings are looking. I'm going to add up all the points to see how many points each driver has, because that is what the freestyle order is going to depend on. So, first and foremost, Jon Zimmer Sr. and the Uproar is going to take home his first win of the season. Very nicely done by him. It was very close between him and MJ, man. And I'm sure the expert judge had a very hard time determining who was going to get the lead there after Jon Zimmer Sr.'s run, because MJ's run was unbelievable. But, man, there was so much balance displayed by Jon Zimmer Sr. that there was just no denying that he earned himself that top spot. Very nice work by Jon Zimmer Sr. as he is going to get that win. Very quickly, though, I am going to find out right now who that series points leader is, because they are going to be closing freestyle. Some big pressure there for that person. 1 second here. Looks like I had some... looks like I did something wrong here. 12, 11, 10, 9... oh, I skipped 8. Would you look at that? 8. Now it's going to be 7. Sorry. I'm trying to count up these points fast enough to get back to the action for you fans. Sometimes I mix things up, but it's alright. I got everything figured out here. This is why I do everything in an app where there is undo buttons. Wow. Okay. All I'm going to say is points are looking very interesting right now. Now, because Cory Rummell went into one of the barriers, he is going to be receiving a 5-point deduction after the conclusion of the event. However, just for the sake of keeping track of the overall, he's going to be going out there with as many points as he would have without receiving that penalty. So, Man, points has some very, very interesting things happening. I would like to say just some rough luck for one competitor. Matt Pagliarulo placed last in both competitions so far. That's really a bummer. I know he wants to do better than that this season, and he's going to have the opportunity to break free right now in freestyle, but that is just super rough for him, my man. I mean, I know he is an entertainer at heart, and the last thing he wants to do is let down the fans. So I'm sure we will be seeing him go harder in freestyle to try and make it known to his fans that he is ready to go crazy this season. With that being said, Cynthia Gauthier does remain in that top spot here with the series points lead. I did say all she had to do was place podium and she could comfortably keep that lead. That's what she did. She placed third place. That got her 10 points, so she is sitting comfortably in first right now with 20... Well, I shouldn't say comfortably, but she is sitting in first right now with 22 points. However, very closely in second place is Jon Zimmer Sr. with 19 points. He got a ton of points out of getting that skills win, and that is very much going to help him here as he makes his way towards potentially getting a series lead. You never know, man. We've seen some crazy things in points, and actually Jon Zimmer Jr. is currently leading the Destruction Series. So Jon Zimmer Sr. could be leading a series coming out of freestyle, but he's going to have to throw it down. Then in third place is Adam Anderson and Gravedigger with 18 points. I'm sure he's going to be looking to be extra competitive in this competition as he tries to make his way into that top spot. And yeah, that's how your podium is currently looking. Other drivers to look out for are Cory Rummell with 16 points, as well as MJ Solorio, same number of points. And actually, Kevin Crocker and Megalodon with 15 points. So Kevin Crocker, look at him go. He's getting nice and competitive out here today. So that's about everything to look out for points. Matt got last in both competitions previously, so I'm sure we will be seeing him driving at an extra high level here in freestyle. However, for other competitors, it has been a bit of a different story. Alright, all that being said, we're going to get things started. That was a lot of talking and not a lot of driving. We like to have a lot of driving here on the circuit. So let's get things started here with your first competitor. Like said, the freestyle order is based on overall event standings. So coming up first, it's Matt Pagliarulo, Jester. Matt has been having such a rough night so far. Despite having 2 successful attempts in skills and not even rolling over in his racing pass, he placed last place twice in a row. So he's probably going to be driving a little bit harder than usual here in freestyle. And he's going to get started with this first hit. Great air from the Jester. Like I've been saying, man, I have a feeling this is going to be a 2018 style Matt Pagliarulo run because he has some serious points to make up. Look at the hang time for the Jester. Oh man, that's an awkward bounce right there. He is still going to get a wheelie out of it on one wheel. That was pretty cool. So Matt pulling out some different stops here in freestyle as he looks to make back up his points. Now, an interesting thing here in Stafford Springs is that the only backflip ramp is an 8-pack, which a lot of drivers aren't comfortable hitting. So I think that's going to shift the focus of freestyle more towards having a full run rather than a backflip centralized run because there's only a few drivers in this lineup that are known to approach that ramp. So I'm going to be very interested to see how drivers look for wow factors without that backflip, or maybe some drivers will get out of their comfort zone and hit it. Matt Pagliarulo right now, though, he is having no shortage of big air, some side slaps as well. Fortunately, everything on that truck holding up. Sometimes this truck doesn't quite cooperate like that, but it is tonight with some more big air for the Jester. Man, he really is side slapping that truck, though. I will say, there has not been a single dull hit in this run. He has made every hit count. Take a look at that. Great air, great hang time as well. He was in the air for a good 2 or 3 seconds right there. All in all, a very good run for Matt Pagliarulo, but he's down towards the tail end of time. Only about 20 seconds left. Still no real wow factor, so this might not be the day for Matt Pagliarulo. He's going to have to make something happen here at the end of the run. Time for one more hit. big air for the Jester. Oh man, he might pull out a big save here. On the rear, and he does. So I was just saying, Matt's going to need a big move to close out this run if he wants to leave this competition any higher than last place. He heard me, I think, from inside the truck because he sent that thing and just had a crazy maneuver. That truck was flipping all sorts of ways, but in the end, it flipped right back onto all four BKT tires. Nicely done by Matt Pagliarulo. Fans, get your scores locked in for the Jester. Absolutely killing it in freestyle as he looks to make up for his performance the rest of the event. Again, fans, you get to have the both privilege and responsibility of scoring these drivers in their runs if you wish. Alright. Not seeing any fan scores here coming through for the man right there, Matt Pagliarulo. So, it's going to go to the experts here. No score to beat. Matt is setting the bar. Great air, great momentum, a little bit of technicality, and a wow moment to end it off. So, a lot of things in that run, but still want to leave that room for improvement. So that freestyle score for Matt Pagliarulo and Jester is... it's an 8.012, setting the bar here in freestyle. Your first score of the night for Matt Pagliarulo and Jester. Coming up next, you'll never see a unicorn flying as high as here at Monster Jam because Kayla Blood and the Sparkle Splash is up next to hit the track. I might have just said Sparkle Splash. Kayla Blood and the Sparkle Smash coming out here. Kayla has been having a not so great event so far, so I wouldn't be surprised to see her really throwing this truck at everything in this freestyle run. She's starting off with some great air and some cross-threading action. That's what we love to see. Cases that jump a little bit, she's already getting kind of all over the place out here. However, that truck is staying on all fours, and it is holding up so far. I'm appreciating that both the runs so far haven't really had any filler hits. The drivers have really been sending it, you know, all or nothing in every hit of their runs so far. So that's what we like to see. Kayla Blood in the Sparkle Smash, man, she is getting on the ragged edge right now. Oh, look at this. A nice combination for the Sparkle Smash. Something that Kayla has definitely been improving at lately as well. I've said that for a lot of drivers, but it's just true. All these drivers have been picking things up. And Kayla Blood doing that right now in freestyle as well. She just keeps getting more and more ragged edge as this run goes on. Oh, man. Oh. Don't get too out of your way there, Kayla. Oh, it might be time for the first Morgan & Morgan backflip of the event. Oh, this might be bad for Kayla. Can she get this back? What a save for the Sparkle Smash. Kayla Blood, one of the best saves of the night so far. And it might be time for that unicorn to grow some wings. Yes, it is. Huge air for Kayla Blood. This truck is being thrown at everything right now. Oh, man, this might do it. It is back on all fours. Kayla Blood, man, she did not get any luck earlier tonight. She said freestyle was gonna be her competition. She is trying to get this back. What a crazy crash. She does fill time. That was insane. I mean, that truck did a... I'm watching back the replay right now. Let's see. A barrel roll, front end pirouette, a cart... it was kind of like a... what's the word I'm looking for? A corkscrew, and then like a sidewall before ending up on the lid. What a crash by Kayla Blood, and what a freestyle. Two great saves, crash madness, huge air, and some technical combinations. All the stuff you want to see in a run. Man, Kayla might not always be able to get it done. But when her truck holds up, she will go crazy. And she very much just demonstrated that there with that freestyle. Definitely stepped it up from Matt Pagliarulo's run, because there was some of everything in that. Matt was lacking kind of mostly everything. So, wonderful work by Kayla Blood. Get those scores in if you would like to. As we prepare for this next driver. A driver who's been having a pretty rough event so far, all things considered. Alright. No scores coming in for Kayla Blood. So, score to beat, 8.012 for Matt Pagliarulo and Jester. The score for Kayla Blood Sparkle Smash is... it's a 9.301. Your new leader in freestyle, Kayla Blood, and the Sparkle Smash. And she is very easily going to be able to do it because, I mean, let's be honest, that run was amazing. She had literally everything: backflip, air, combinations, wow factor, saves, and crash madness. Coming up next, it's Coty Saucier Dragon. Coty is a very, very competitive driver, so I don't think he's going to be settling for being in the bottom 3 tonight. He's definitely going to want to pick that up, but it might be too late for him. I don't know. He's going to kick off this run right away. No time to waste for the Dragon. Great flow right off the bat. You know, sometimes when there's new tracks like this that drivers haven't seen before, they might want to be a little bit more cautious. Well, Coty is showing none of that. He is going right from hit to hit, getting on the ragged edge right off the bat. And I mean, I can't blame him, because every point he gets out of freestyle is going to count, because this first event for him has really not been going well. So if I were in his position, I would also probably be trying to pick it up in the last competition, because that's really his last chance to get those points in. So far, he has only 8 points. That is 14 points out from your current overall points leader. So Coty Saucier trying to make up some ground. Great momentum, great air. Look at this combination. He's got everything going for him right now in freestyle, showing how competitive he can be. And it looks like it might be Morgan and Morgan backflip time for the Dragon. Oh man, that's going to be a hard landing. Can he get this one back? He's going to try. Oh man. Yeah, that truck definitely shut off upon that cage hit. He went all out trying to save that thing. Because, I mean, like I've been saying, he really needs those points. But if you want to get good points, you got to stay on all fours. Coty, a great save attempt, I'll say that much, but it's going to end up being one of the hardest crashes of the BeamNG series so far. Man, that's 2 absolutely insane crashes already in this freestyle competition. These drivers are really driving like they want it. That's what I love to see, man. That's the level of competition I expect to see out of the drivers here on the BeamNG circuit. And we have been seeing that consistently all night long, so I love that. These drivers are definitely driving up to par with the Destruction series, and that's exactly what we look for here on the BeamNG circuit as we prepare for that next driver. Let's get those scores. Let's see. Score to beat, 9.301 for the Sparkle Smash. And the score for Dragon is... it's an 8.401, only enough for second place. Coming up next, the last look at Team Tomfoolery we will be getting here tonight. It's Nick Pagliarulo and the Kraken. So we already saw Matt in this competition. He did not have the best of luck. Now we're seeing Nick, of course, with that new chassis style that has been giving practically every driver this year trouble, except for MJ Solorio tonight. So, interesting thing to look out for is that MJ Solorio and Camden Murphy have both had great luck with that new chassis style, whereas drivers like Bryce Kenny and Fernando Martinez have not. So Nick Pagliarulo, we're going to see where he falls in that pack right now, because he is also driving that new chassis style that a lot of drivers have been struggling with. Off to a pretty nice start here in freestyle, struggling to really find a good moment. There we go. 20 seconds in, and already one of the best saves of the freestyle competition so far. coming out of Nick Pagliarulo. That is exactly what it's all about here. Driving at your highest point, at all points. What on earth was that? He did like a barrel roll or something. The truck held up perfectly. I don't know what I just saw. He cased the ramp super hard, got one of the craziest maneuvers I have ever seen. Now he's got just a minute to burn it down. Oh man, not anymore. Nope, that truck's gonna save itself. Oh, but this is going to be hard now. Nick Pagliarulo, his rear steer is stuck. That was a very, very hard landing. All right, the time is paused at 49 seconds. Hard crash for Nick Pagliarulo. We're going to see if he can continue on here. Finally getting some body damage. That truck was looking indestructible today. Again, that was a very hard direct cage hit for the Kraken. Alright, it looks like he is refired, so Nick... Uh-oh. There we go. He was refired, lost power for a second. Now he's back on. Keep in mind, though, he has no control over that rear steer anymore. So now he's going to have some very, very hard things to work through here in this run. He can only halfway control his Monster Jam truck now. And that's going to be very hard to work with how unstable that chassis has proven itself to be. Can he pull out another insane save? No, man. After so many crazy moves in that run, that truck finally decides it's done. And with 33 seconds unfilled, Nick Pagliarulo is officially done for the event. Man, what a chaotic run. I have not seen a Team Tomfoolery truck go that crazy in quite a long time. Nick threw that truck at absolutely everything in sight, no holding back. I don't know what that was. Scored a beat, belongs to the Sparkle Smash with a 9.301. That score for Nick Pagliarulo Kraken is a 9.016, currently enough for second place. I gotta say, huge score for Nick considering he had no backflip and left about a quarter of the time left. I think that's going to go to show how important consistency is, and Nick had a wow moment just about every 15 seconds in that run. So you got to stay consistent throughout your run, and it looks like that's what's going to be the thing that gets you a lot of points. Coming up next, the rookie behind the wheel of the Classroom Crusher, here to take the competition to school, it's Chuckie Pauken III. Man, this has got to be rough for Chuckie, you know. He's not doing all that bad in points. He's only 10 points out from being series leader, but when it's your first show on a big floor like this in Monster Jam, it's definitely got to be very difficult to really figure out, you know, what you're going to do. So Chuckie, man, he's coming out here definitely a little bit lower on the momentum side so far. Great air, though, I'll say that. Oh, goes in for a technical combination. That's what you like to see. We haven't actually seen too much of that in freestyle. It's more or less just been ragged edge more than anything. So Chuckie Pauken trying to give us some new things here. Huge air from the Classroom Crusher. Trying to do it again. Looks like that truck just not getting the grab it needs so far. So I'm going to be very interested to see what he goes for here. He has yet to attempt a backflip in Monster Jam, so I would be surprised if he went for that. More huge air, though. So Chuckie Pauken and the Classroom Crusher, man, really giving this truck at everything right now. He's just throwing this truck at everything. Still having a bit of a rough time finding, you know, bigger moves, but I'm definitely appreciating the consistency in this run so far. And it's one of those things where it's just going to have to kind of naturally develop for Chuckie Pauken as his career goes on. And that's going to do it for the Classroom Crusher. Cases it very hard. And you can take a look there at that front end. That is a 4-link bar down. You see it actually hanging down there. So That is just unfortunate for Chuckie Pauken. We cannot let that continue on. That is a big, big breakage. So, he did a pretty good job there for his first big floor freestyle like that. Looks like his priority was mainly just to try and fill as much of the clock as possible while not getting boring with the run. He had quite a few bigger sends in there, and some technical combinations, just couldn't quite find anything too crazy to set him apart. So that score to be 9.301. The score for the Classroom Crusher is... it's a 6.923. Unfortunately, not going to be too close to that top spot. That is actually the first score across both competitions to be below a 7, but I just think he left too much time on the clock and didn't have enough going for him, and I don't think the expert judge was too much of a fan of that. Coming up next, let's throw it over to a team we haven't seen yet. Team Scream with the freestyle man himself, Freestyle Foley, Joe Foley, and the Axe. Man, Joe really has his work cut out for him, though. I mean, we have seen some incredible runs so far. Joe doesn't do the 8-pack, so he's not going to be able to, you know, cop out with a backflip. He's going to have to go full Freestyle Foley tonight if he wants to even make it into the top 3. So let's see what he can do here. Freestyle is never something that scares Joe Foley, but it's definitely going to require him to be at an extra heightened level today. Already getting a little bit technical with it. Love to see that. Goes for a slap wheelie off the pod. That's not something you see super often. Whoa. Getting nice and hiked up. That's what I like to see. That's what makes Joe Foley so fun. The ragged edge action. Oh, yeah, that's done. He is going to fill 30 seconds, so he will qualify for a score. But I don't really know what he was thinking there, man. It looked like he wanted to hit that center obstacle, but didn't take the time to really super well line up. I think he got a bit of a wheelie, and that really took away from it. He's going to land super hard. Fortunately, still able to save it, but breaks all the front suspension entirely and a 4-link bar. The two things that we won't let run broken here on the BeamNG circuit are suspension, specifically shocks, and 4-link bar. He did both of those things, so tough break for Joe Foley. Because he did barely fill the clock, it's not going to be a super high score. We're just going to jump straight to it. That score for the Axe is a 4.012, currently enough for 6th place. With that being said, with that run marking 6th place and being last place currently, unfortunately for Joe, that means we are officially halfway into the Monster Jam competition tonight. We have seen so much amazing action so far, but man, to still think that we are basically just getting started, well, I'm not sure if I would say that, but in terms of freestyle, I mean, the drivers so far have basically just been setting the bar for the drivers that you have yet to see. So we're going to jump into this next run from none other than Kevin Crocker and what is left of that Megalodon Monster Jam truck. He is just going to go straight for a full send to get this run started. That's what I love about Kevin, man. Like I said, he's not driving to win. He's driving to put on a show for the fans and starting it off with some huge air. Definitely something to get the fans on their feet. See, he's just going immediately for all the biggest things on the track. He doesn't really take the time to, you know, deduce a plan or anything. He just looks at that track, says, what's going to get the fans on their feet? That's what I want to do. So whatever's in front of him that looks like it's going to be exciting, that's what he tends to go for. And he is off to a very fun start to this run. Look at this. Oh, man. Having to pull out a little bit of a save already. We have been seeing all sorts of killer saves in all 3 competitions tonight. And Kevin Crocker's trying to be a part of that. Look at this. Whoa! And there it is, another huge save for the Megalodon. Loses the hood, man. That was even crazier than his save back in the 2-wheel skills competition. Kevin Crocker really making sure to put on a good show for the fans out here. Also trying to represent for Team Scream, since Joe Foley really didn't have much of a freestyle Foley run tonight. And that's unfortunate because this was a very freestyle focused event, it's been looking like, but you know what? Kevin Crocker said, Team Scream is not going out on a low note, and he is just absolutely burning it down right now in the Megalodon. Going very wide out there. He might be lining up, yes, for some huge air. Kevin Crocker and the Megalodon. Wheeling it as well, man. This is incredible. He's going to have to pull out a huge save. Oh, man. That truck just kept on rolling. I was waiting for the moment that it would settle down, but it just kept rolling more and more until he eventually just ended up straight on the lid. Tough break for Kevin, man. Well, I wouldn't say that. It's an unfortunate rollover, but he still had a great freestyle run out there. Made sure to entertain you fans. Make sure to show you what Team Scream is all about. Score to beat belongs to Sparkle Smash with a 9.301. The score for Kevin Crocker and the Megalodon is... Sorry, we're also preparing the next competitor at the same time, so taking a second here to get that score coming out. That score for the Megalodon is... It's an 8.520. That is currently enough for third place here in freestyle. A high score is actually going to be higher than Coty's, but I think, again, that's showing the importance of consistency and wow factor tonight. Because that's really been what has been rewarding these competitors so far. Speaking of competitors having better nights, you know, although not necessarily taking home any wins yet, this next driver did just get second place in the last competition. This is one of the biggest floors he has ever driven on, and now he is looking to become a series champion as he represents 25 years of El Toro Loco. It's MJ Solorio. MJ recently doing his first ever stadium events, and those events, you know, earlier this year at the stadium level were what really proved to me that he deserved to make it onto a series like the Speedway Series. I saw his air, his momentum, and his wow moments, and I said, you know what? We're putting MJ on the bigger leagues next year, and that's exactly what we did. He's off to a nice start here, immediately showing off that momentum and air that I was just talking about. Looks like he might have gone for a technical move there. Couldn't get it. Gotta be careful here, running out of room. What? He tried to save it. Instead, he decided, you know what, let's turn this into a wow moment. And he turns the sidewall save, almost more of a bicycle, into a bicycle to moonwalk. A move that even he is not super experienced with, but sometimes things just come naturally for you here in freestyle. And that's what we're seeing for MJ Solorio. Oh man, he's starting to get crazy out there. A very Armando Castro feeling run. I think this is just what El Toro Loco is all about. Is, you know, getting crazy on the ragged edge. I mean, it's in the name. You have to be crazy if you're driving this truck. Oh, careful, MJ. Looks like he's going to be lining up for the Morgan & Morgan backflip. Nice. He's going to nail it, but that is going to do it for the El Toro Loco. He nails the landing, but kind of against his control there. It's going to land really, really hard and snap the 4-link bar. I can't blame him, man. That was a perfect rotation. It just came a little bit short. I think that's the first time we've seen this chassis style land a backflip this season. You know, like I've been saying, every driver driving that kind of chassis has been having a ton of trouble. But I think that's the first landed backflip for that type of chassis. Fernando might have landed it. I don't think he did. I think for MJ puts down the first one of the year. Score to beat belongs to Sparkle Smash with a 9.301. The score for MJ Solorio and El Toro Loco is an 8.301. Not enough for that top spot. Coming up next, a driver with the same number of points as MJ Solorio coming into freestyle, except for the fact that he does have, unfortunately, a 5-second penalty. Well, now he has the chance to come out here and become a freestyle winner and maybe make up those points he's been losing. It's Cory Rummell, Blue Thunder. Now, Cory is one of those drivers that I don't really see hitting that 8-pack. So, again, I really am going to be interested to see what other things he tries to incorporate into this run to try and make up for the lack of a backflip that, although I'm not 100% sure, I think we're going to be seeing in this run. Right off the bat, some big air for Cory. He is Mr. Extreme Air, and look at this, he's doing it again. Obviously, that 2018 Extreme Air of the Year award winner, he did not get that award for nothing, man. Cory Rummell will send that truck. You know, I like him being in this Blue Thunder truck. I think it reminds me a lot of his Rage truck. And I think it's just a fitting pairing for Cory. You know, being in a nice pickup truck. Although an F-150 isn't exactly his body style, I think he can rock it pretty well. Oh man, more huge air for Cory Rummell. Wow, getting a bicycle on the pod. Careful, Cory. Whoa! I think he got onto one wheel getting that save out right there. That was incredible stuff from the Blue Thunder. Huge air once again. That truck's looking like it's landing a little bit sharp. Look at that. He's just going all the way out there. So Cory Rummell's taking this run to full send central. Look at this. This is amazing. Can he pull out a big save right here? Yes, he can. Cory trying to get every wow moment he can in this run, because every big moment you can get is going to count tonight with how crazy this competition has been. Now he's trying to cross-thread it, looking for something crazy here in the Blue Thunder. Let's see if he can get that crazy move. Oh man, this is going to be a rough landing here. Tries to save it, but couldn't get the traction he needs. Just about fills the clock. So a great run there by Cory Rummell. And the Blue Thunder almost filled all of his time. Didn't have a backflip. His saves were not quite as crazy as the other ones we've seen. It was more or less just a lot of consistent, ragged edge driving that built up that run for Cory Rummell. So, very, very nice work by the Blue Thunder. But is it going to be enough? Because that huge score to beat has still not been touched at all. That 9.301 from Kayla Blood really has set itself apart from the rest of the pack. I don't know, that score for the Blue Thunder is... It's an 8.521. That is currently enough for third place here in freestyle. We're officially down to the last 3 runs of the night. These are the drivers who have been the most competitive and now have the highest odds at walking away with an overall event championship. But it's going to take a lot of work because it's super close in points right now. There are only 4 points separating the podium, so every part of these freestyle runs is going to count. Coming up next, 4-time world champion looking to become a series champion here in the Speedway Series. It's Adam Anderson, Gravedigger. Adam is the only driver in this entire lineup that I think is willing to hit every single obstacle on the track in every single way it can be hit. I mean, he really defines what monster trucks can do. Maybe not as much as Weston, who was out here at this lineup last year, but at this venue last year, but still, Adam truly can do anything he puts his mind to. Huge send. Oh my goodness, did the truck actually hold up? Well, Adam just got very lucky that not a single thing somehow broke. I thought we were going to be seeing, you know, tie rods, 4-link bars, and sway bars flying through the air. Nope, that truck is still in perfect shape, and that was the biggest error of the entire night from Adam Anderson. So immediately, Adam is definitely impressing us all in ways that we should probably expect from him, to be honest. He is not a 4-time world champion and a freestyle world champion for nothing. You know, huge air is actually more or less what won him his freestyle world championship, and he is giving us all sorts of that in this run. Oh no. He's going to have to get really good on this save here. Wow. He had incredible peace of mind to get that truck back right there. Very nicely done by Adam. And it looks like it might be Morgan & Morgan backflip time. Ooh, running into some transmission struggles here. That's going to slow him down. He's going to be able to get that back up and running. Oh, this is going to be bad for the Gravedigger. He's going to have to save that. It might save itself, though. Look at this. What is he doing? It worked. That actually worked for Adam. I don't know what he did. That was a very unconventional save style. He kind of tried to, like, sidewinder it up the ramp, but it somehow worked for him. He's got 20 seconds left to burn this truck to the ground. Look at this. How is that thing holding up? Well, it's not going to be holding up after... What? I have no clue how that truck landed back on all fours. Like said, not going to hold up. That is definitely some shocks down in the rear. What was that crash madness right there from Adam Anderson and the Gravedigger? Unbelievable freestyle. He's going to leave 7 seconds unfilled, but I don't think those 7 seconds are going to matter one bit because that run was unreal. Adam Anderson fitting absolutely everything possible into less than 2 minutes. That is what makes an incredible Monster Jam driver. The question is, will it be enough? That score to beat has belonged to Sparkle Smash all event long with a 9.301. The score for Adam Anderson Gravedigger is... It's a 9.553. Your new leader in freestyle, Adam Anderson and the Gravedigger. On that note, we're officially down to your final remaining competitor. We have... Incorrect. We have 2 drivers left. I thought it was already the last one. There's been so much action, but no. 2 drivers still left to go. Second to last here. It's Jon Zimmer Sr. Uproar. So Jon Zimmer, he sits only 3 points out from the series lead. So he's definitely got a lot on the line here coming into freestyle, but he's going to have to do something completely unconventional to have any hopes at taking that lead here in freestyle. He's not really the type to do that. I mean, he's just the type to go out there, put down a consistent run, and fill the clock. So I'm very interested to see how this will go. Immediately, though, thrown into some beautiful technical moves. Best technical move of the entire freestyle competition so far. No surprises, though, after he literally won the competition all about technical moves. Very nicely done by Jon Zimmer Sr. Now he's starting to pick it up a little bit. Big air on those last few hits for the Uproar. What you love to see. And I mean, yeah, Jon Zimmer Sr. is never really afraid to go big. I'm just not sure if this track completely suits him. He's going to pull out some sick moves right there, though. Nice save. Alright, he's got about a minute left to go. Let's see what he can do. Nice air. He has already filled half the clock and not really done anything super notable yet. He's really going to need to start picking this up if he wants it to reflect for points. Otherwise, I think he's going to be ending about 10th place with a run like this. Oh, nice little save. We've seen a lot of big saves, though, so a little save is not going to quite be enough right now. We really need to see something new or something that completely tops the rest of the competition so far. This might be a big moment. Nice. So Jon Zimmer Sr. in the Uproar, we've seen quite a few drivers have that exact rollover. We saw it from Coty Saucier earlier. We saw it for Nick Pagliarulo, I believe. Maybe MJ Solorio. I don't know. A lot of drivers have rolled over just like that. Jon Zimmer Sr. and the Uproar are now going to do it as well. Big air right here. Gonna land hard on that pod. Gonna land it though. Time has expired, so that run is officially wrapped up. Looks like he's just going to throw it into some donuts to close it out. We have not seen any good donuts tonight. Oh, I don't know what just happened there. Unfortunately, though, that's going to do it for Jon Zimmer Sr. Very weird things just went down on the screen. Yeah, Jon Zimmer Sr. in Uproar. Great run. He filled the clock. Good momentum. Good air. Wow factor. Very good technical moves, but I just don't know if that was quite up to par with what we've seen. I mean, we have seen some wild, wild things here in freestyle, especially from Adam Anderson, who currently leads freestyle with a score of a 9.553. So, I don't know. Great run by Jon Zimmer Sr. Will it be enough? Let's see. Fan scores are coming in. It's a 7.5 from the fans. Experts are going to give that run an 8.1. So that score for the Uproar is a 7.8. That is not going to be enough for that top spot. Welcome to the stream, Isaac. Now, good news, man. Well, I'm not sure if I'd say this is good news. Unfortunately, you did miss most of the event. However, you got back at the last freestyle run, which means if there's any run where there's just going to be no holding back, it's going to be this run, because Cynthia Gauthier currently leads the overall point standings. If she can get a good score in freestyle, she might be leaving this event as the series points leader. So she's going to be going all out in this run as she closes this event. One more freestyle to go. Cynthia Gauthier, Lucas Oil Stabilizer. Keep in mind that score to beat still belongs to Adam Anderson. It was a 9.553. 1 second here, fans. Some transmission struggles for Cynthia Gauthier. I'm just going to fix these up really quick because we want all these drivers who have a fair attempt. Uh-oh. Well, remember, we saw those steering issues yesterday. They almost came back for Cynthia. I think it's going to be okay here. Uh-oh. Let's see. Now she's having some more transmission issues. Uh-oh. Weird things are happening right now for the Lucas Stabilizer. Trying to figure this out. I genuinely don't know what's happening. Alright, everything's back up and running. Cynthia Gauthier, Lucas Stabilizer, coming out here last for freestyle. She is currently your season points leader. And if she can do good enough here in freestyle, she will be leaving this event a season points leader. Look at the huge air kicking off the run. Like said, this is going to be a run where I don't think we're going to be seeing any holding back whatsoever. Huge air like that, definitely proving my point. Nice save right there by Cynthia. Alright, be careful in these turns. You don't want to take those turns too fast. You could flip over. Wow, nice cross-threading action. We've seen that from a few drivers, but Cynthia did it very clean right there. And really didn't even think twice. She just went for it and sent it. That's what I love to see. Oh, man. Whoa! She is going crazy right now. Got about half the time left. It looks like it might be Morgan and Morgan backflip time. Nails the landing, the cleanest landing on the Morgan and Morgan backflip of the entire night. So Cynthia Gauthier, Lucas Stabilizer, clearly bringing it all right now here in freestyle. Huge air. I don't know if it was as big as Adam's air, but it was definitely way up there. So Cynthia doing everything she can right now. She's still got 30 seconds left to try and take away that freestyle win. Huge! Oh my goodness, be careful. A very impressive, maybe, what a save for the Lucas stabilizer. That is what I'm talking about. An incredible run. Oh man, this might be a hard landing. Yeah, there's just no saving that. That truck was in a very bad spot. She fills the clock, and that's going to do it for Cynthia Gauthier and the Lucas stabilizer fans. Get those scores in. What an incredible run. Clearly understood what it was going to take to try and beat Adam Anderson and the Gravedigger. Absolutely went for it. Probably two of the biggest sends of the night. Not sure if they were as big as what we saw from Adam, but still two very good sends at that as that run came to an end. Again, get those scores locked in for the Lucas stabilizer. All right, experts are going to give that run a high score. We got a few fan scores coming in for that one. So, the official fan score tonight. Whoops. The official fan score tonight for the Lucas stabilizer, a 9.35. Experts give that run a 9.5. So her score, a 9.425. So close to enough for that top spot, but that's going to put her in second place. On that note, fans, I'm going to very quickly add up all these points here before our encore, because we have some very, very interesting things here going down in the points chase. Oh yeah, points are looking interesting. I do believe we know who that series points leader is. But I just need to count everything up just to make sure. Yeah, what a great event, man. There was great competition all night long. But it looks like, yes, we were correct. Cynthia Gauthier is able to leave this event, the series points leader, as she picked up a total of 33 points. She is your overall event champion and your season points leader in the Lucas stabilizer. Adam Anderson is very close behind in second place with a total of 30 points, though. So, although we see Cynthia still in that top spot, it's definitely going to be a very, very close competition on this series. Well, fans, as you know, we wouldn't end an event on the channel without an encore. So, celebrating 25 years of El Toro Loco in that Stars and Stripes body, please welcome MJ Solorio, El Toro Loco. So MJ getting to represent one of the most iconic trucks in the industry to ever run. This is going to be interesting here. These encores, we always like to do something special. I'm not sure if this one's going to be as successful as Armando's. It's going to be close. MJ's going to need to be very smart in his driving right here. Oh, he clears it. Who am I kidding? This is 25 years of El Toro Loco, one of the best monster trucks to ever exist. We wouldn't have an unsuccessful encore for one of the best monster trucks of all time. MJ Solorio, he's going to do it again. Tackling that Lucas stabilizer truck from two sides. Make it three sides. He is hitting that truck, or I guess clearing that truck in every way possible. Unfortunately, this encore is going to be a little bit short-lived. He's going to clip that racing lane and go over. But fans, I hope you all enjoyed, because that's going to do it for the first event of the season. Super fun show. We had all sorts of crazy things happening. Cynthia put an amazing end to freestyle. She is your season points leader. Adam Anderson, though, your freestyle winner, trailing very close behind. Great run there for MJ to celebrate 25 years of El Toro Loco. But that's it, fans. I'll see you all next time.